Roberts, a British actress, who once said, "What? You can't show your body in front of people, and yet as an actor you will bare your innermost soul? If you can't show people your body, how can you then really feel that you're showing people the innermost part of you that you sometimes need to play certain roles?" And I think that's quite an interesting angle to come from. My name is Francesca Waters, and this time in Australia I've been live modelling for a couple of years. I did it a long time ago when I was younger in England, and I was really broke and I needed some money, and somebody suggested doing it, and I did a couple of classes for the Slade. Odd friends have said to me, "How can you do it? What does it feel like?" That kind of thing. So there's quite a mixed bag, and other people say, "Oh well, you, Fran, you know, you wouldn't find that difficult, would you?" Because they know my personality, so it's very much, "Oh well, not surprised that she would do that." Do you know what I mean? I'm very lucky to have come from a family that was really comfortable with... My dad would walk around, you know, in the nude, and my mum, and we were never really self-conscious about bodies. It was never anything that was hidden. From what I've heard and my experiences, when I look at any suburb now in Melbourne, it's incredible how many life drawing classes there are. There's one or two in every suburb that I've heard of. Okay, so this is one of the ones that I was in an art class at the Incubator, which is in Moonee Ponds, and I was admiring this young woman who I think would only be 17, 18, and she just did the most incredible artwork. I go to classes all over. I've been as far as Eltham, as far south as Frankston South, all over the place. One of the things I find fascinating is that there are people in the class who've never done it before, and they're doing it as a form of expression, and some of the teachers are amazing at getting out of the artists ways of just getting something on paper that is actually really worth looking at, and as a form of relaxation and getting to know people and finding a side of you that's creative. I couldn't recommend an art class more. I know people who are accountants and people who are desk bound and architects and people who you would think would be way too formal to do a job like that. And they love their art class because it's another way of expressing themselves. There's always this thing about actors saying, "I will do anything but I won't take my clothes off," because of that stigma. It's an interesting thing. I would be quite happy to be in the nude in a film, but of course it depends how it's done. There's actually quite a few art classes. Some are burlesque and they're half clothed and half not, and some of them are, I think, a little bit more titillating, and it's not art. Now I'm not going to pass comments about that. That would not work for me, because for me I like being in an artist because I've always loved art. There's interesting sort of crossovers as to why there are less male models. I think more men are maybe uncomfortable about their bodies. I think women are more comfortable with exposing themselves in that way. I mean, I'm not making that as a categoric statement. I mean, that's still only my opinion. I was in a class and somebody told me that some of the women in the class, and now they have to accept it for the whole class, don't want to draw male models. They're embarrassed. Every single model brings something totally different to the class, both in physicality. Some models are really big, some models are tiny, some models are quite short, some models are really tall and gangly. There's one model I've heard about, I haven't met him yet. He's a gymnast, and he can hold poses that I would be able to hold for probably 3 minutes. He can hold for 20. He gets a lot of work. One of the things that we do in a class, we do a warm-up. We will do what we call gesture, and they will be 2-minute poses. They might even be as short as 30 seconds, and it's movement. It's me going like that, or like that, or like that, and twisting around and undulating, so that the human body has got so much more shape and form and fluidity and angle and light and shade and dynamic than something that is, you know, still life.